Be Palatine Sarah. Wake up slowly. In the hospital. Looks like. Can't feel half of my body from the neck down. Start thinking about how well I can serve the God Emperor's justice with just my left hand. Hospitaller Tamsin is there. She tells me that's just from the anesthesia. Says I'll be fine except for a pretty sizable scar down my neck. Ask her if she still has the knife. Says she figured I'd ask for it. Picks it up from the shelf and hands it to me. It's old, well-made, workmanlike. The same length as my Catachan knife, but thinner. Double-edged with a spear point tip. The collar of my armor caught the shorter finger guard and prevented it from sinking in more than a few inches, or I wouldn't still be here. There's some writing, crudely but carefully incised along the inside of the fuller. The handiwork of a soldier with plenty of restless downtime. It reads, Icebreaker. B. Fessus. It's been about a week since the siege. Decaris is about fully healed up, although he still has to go for checkups in case something acts up. Thank the Emperor for modern medicine. Of course, the first thing he does as soon as he's healed is punch us all in the face while apologizing. Why? Because the Commissar told him to. Decaris, you Emperor-damned weenie. If you weren't injured, I'd give you a thrashing. So as punishment, we brought him along on a drinking excursion. I know it doesn't really seem like a punishment, but for him it is. Up until now, he's never had a drink in his life. So now he figured it's time to break his liver cherry and laugh at him as he fails to hold his drink. Besides, I still owe Marcus 3 for fixing up those tankers. Thank goodness the Blood Ravens all gave us a post-battle allowance. I think it's because they felt bad about forgetting us. Phil skipped out on us. Apparently, he's going for poetry lessons with that goth chick, Maria, now. It's good that he's making friends. Still gonna make fun of him for it, though. We're not the only ones in the bar. I mean, it's not as crowded as the only bar in the city as it should be. But then again, a lot of people did die. See some of our tag-alongs here. They aren't really all that bad a bunch. Marcus and I are talking with Josephine while she drinks a sarsaparilla, whatever that is. Apparently her Palatine is pretty badly wounded, but is expected to recover. Same goes for Bishop Boy too. She's telling us this really funny story about the time her sister Jessie tried to ride a greater Narlock. She's actually pretty alright when she's not trying to push Marcus's buttons. Actually, she's pretty great when she's doing that too. It's hilarious. Decaris is, as expected, a lightweight and dead drunk. I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. You know, this is the first time in a long while that I'm actually enjoying myself. Be me, the best seneschal in the ecclesiarchy. I'm also a certified badass who takes out space marines. But you'd never know it given the amount of praise that's being heaped on Bishop Bernadal and his not-so-virginal bride. Sure, he cut the thing in half and she broke its axe. But if I hadn't put my life on the line shooting it, they'd both be long gone. I tell ya, I get no respect, Voxcast. Then, for my effort, I get my head kicked in by some psychotic PDF soldier. I don't even know how PDF dipshit survived this long. If he hadn't blindsided me while I was focused on saving the ecclesiarchy, I'd have messed him up. And of course, no one lifted a finger to help me. Apparently the bishop's big arm crapped out, but he still had another one. Didn't know that twerp could have handled a bolter with it, though. Little guy, big gun.png. It's not all downside, though. The little guy is a hell of a lot more generous than the rogue trader I worked for. The drugs they've got me on in this hospital are the closest thing to a good time I've had since I got dropped here. Plus, he's getting the 7 survivors from the 60 that went down decked out in bionics. Even got me on the surgery list. Says we're his elite retinue now. Given the amount of thrones passing through the little twerp's hands, he's lucky to have a guy like me handling the finances. And I'll be happy to return to the standard of living I deserve. B. Canoness, finally out of that damn sewer. Who knew Sister Charlotte was so claustrophobic? Guess it makes sense. She's used to being the tunnel, not the train. Still, remnant Necrons and feral Tyranids to clear out under the city. Best to take things one step at a time. Head back to the cathedral in a requisitioned black sepulchre hearse. The repressor is still buried in the street somewhere. Realize that I've yet to see my damn quarters. They're probably buried under the Titan's boot by now. Hope I might have an excuse to stay aboard the bright Corona instead of in this hellhole. Step around the mound of orcs piled in front of the cathedral entrance. The interior is already being cleared. Order a change of clothes brought, and for someone to thoroughly clean my storm bolter in case I need it again in the next hour. Pilfer a slice of wedding cake from what's left of the catering table. Order that someone get me a line to the Strike Commander Morganson of the Blood Ravens. We've yet to be properly introduced.